Hello and welcome to CGK, Curiosities about General Knowledge. Today we're going to talk about Saturn, one of the most fascinating planets in our solar system. Here are 5 interesting facts about Saturn that you may not know, using the most searched words related to this topic. 1. Saturn's rings. Saturn's rings are one of the most striking and distinctive features of the planet. The rings are composed of countless particles of ice and dust, ranging in size from tiny grains to large boulders. The rings are incredibly thin, with an average thickness of just 10 meters, and can extend out to a distance of over 280,000 kilometers from the planet's center. The origin of Saturn's rings is still not fully understood, but it is believed that they were formed from the debris of a moon or moons that were shattered by collisions or tidal forces. The rings are divided into several main sections, each named after a letter of the alphabet, with additional subsections designated by numbers. One of the most fascinating things about Saturn's rings is that they are constantly changing. The particles that make up the rings are in constant motion, colliding with each other and occasionally clumping together to form larger objects. Scientists believe that the rings may be relatively young, perhaps only a few 100 million years old, and that they will eventually dissipate as the particles fall onto Saturn's atmosphere or are pulled into the planet by its gravity. Saturn's rings have been the subject of intense study and exploration by spacecraft, including the Voyager and Cassini missions. These missions have revealed much about the composition and structure of the rings, as well as the complex interactions between the rings and Saturn's moons. 2. Saturn's moons. Saturn has an impressive 82 known moons, each with its own unique characteristics and features. The largest of these moons is Titan, which is the second largest moon in the solar system after Jupiter's Ganymede. Titan is larger than the planet Mercury and is the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere, composed mostly of nitrogen with trace amounts of methane and other gases. Another interesting moon of Saturn is Enceladus, which is much smaller than Titan but is known for its geysers of water and other materials that spew into space. These geysers were first observed by the Cassini spacecraft in 2005 and are thought to be caused by tidal heating, which results from the gravitational interactions between Enceladus and Saturn. Mimas is another of Saturn's moons that is known for its unusual appearance. Mimas has a large crater on its surface, called the Herschel crater, that is so large it gives the moon the appearance of the Death Star from Star Wars. Hyperion is yet another moon of Saturn that is known for its unusual shape. It is irregularly shaped and has a porous surface that is covered in deep craters. Saturn's moons have been the subject of numerous spacecraft missions, including the Cassini mission that orbited Saturn and its moons for 13 years. These missions have revealed a wealth of information about the moons, including their composition, structure, and history. They have also raised many questions about the potential for life on some of these moons, particularly Titan and Enceladus, which have environments that could be conducive to life. 3. Saturn's size. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun and the second largest planet in our solar system after Jupiter. With a diameter of approximately 120,536 kilometers, Saturn is about 9.5 times the size of Earth. Its volume is so large that you could fit more than 760 Earths inside of it. Despite its size, Saturn is one of the least dense planets in the solar system, with a density of only 0.687 grams per cc, which is less than that of water. Saturn is a gas giant planet, meaning that its interior is composed mostly of gas and liquid, with no solid surface. The planet is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, the 2 lightest elements in the universe, with small amounts of other elements like methane, ammonia, and water vapor. The massive size of Saturn has led to some interesting effects on its atmosphere. For example, the planet's gravity causes its atmosphere to be thicker at the equator than at the poles, which results in faster winds near the equator. Saturn's atmosphere is also known for its banded appearance, with alternating light and dark stripes. These stripes are created by differences in the composition and temperature of the atmosphere at different altitudes. Saturn is also known for its impressive system of rings, which span a distance of over 280,000 kilometers from the planet's center. The rings are made up of countless particles of ice and dust, ranging in size from tiny grains to large boulders, and are less than 1 kilometer thick. The size and composition of the rings add to the overall grandeur and majesty of this enormous planet. Overall, Saturn's immense size and unique composition make it one of the most fascinating objects in our solar system. 4. Saturn's atmosphere. Saturn's atmosphere is one of the most fascinating aspects of the planet. It is composed primarily of hydrogen and helium, with small amounts of other gases like methane, ammonia, and water vapor. Like Jupiter, Saturn is classified as a gas giant planet, meaning that it has no solid surface and its atmosphere gradually transitions into a liquid layer as you move deeper into the planet. One of the most striking features of Saturn's atmosphere is its banded appearance, with alternating light and dark stripes that run parallel to the planet's equator. These bands are created by differences in the composition and temperature of the atmosphere at different altitudes. The light-colored bands, or zones, are cooler and have less haze than the darker bands, or belts, which are warmer and have more haze. Saturn's atmosphere is also known for its strong winds, which can reach speeds of up to 1,800 km per hour at the equator. These winds are driven by the planet's rotation, which takes about 10.7 hours to complete. The strong winds are also responsible for creating a hexagonal-shaped pattern around Saturn's North Pole, which was first observed by the Voyager spacecraft in 1981. Another interesting aspect of Saturn's atmosphere is its auroras. Like Earth, Saturn has auroras, which are caused by the interaction between charged particles from the solar wind and the planet's magnetic field. However, Saturn's auroras are much larger and more intense than Earth's, and they are also visible in ultraviolet and infrared light, in addition to visible light. Overall, Saturn's atmosphere is a complex and dynamic system that has fascinated scientists and astronomers for decades. Its banded appearance, strong winds, and auroras make it one of the most unique and interesting atmospheres in the solar system. 5. Saturn's magnetosphere. Saturn's magnetosphere is a region surrounding the planet that is dominated by its magnetic field. Like Earth, Saturn has a magnetic field, but it is much larger and more complex than Earth's. The magnetosphere of Saturn is the largest structure in our solar system, with a radius of over 20 times the radius of Saturn itself. Saturn's magnetosphere is shaped like a teardrop, with the planet located at the narrow end and the tail extending outward into space. The magnetic field of Saturn is not aligned with the planet's rotation axis, which causes the magnetic field to wobble as the planet rotates. This wobbling creates a pulsing effect in the magnetosphere, which is known as a carousel motion. One of the most fascinating features of Saturn's magnetosphere is its interaction with its moons. Saturn has over 80 known moons, and many of them orbit within or close to the planet's magnetosphere. These moons interact with the magnetosphere in various ways, including creating auroras and plasma waves. Saturn's magnetosphere also plays a crucial role in protecting the planet from the solar wind, which is a stream of charged particles that flows outward from the Sun. The magnetic field of Saturn deflects the solar wind and creates a shock wave, known as a magnetopause, at the boundary between the magnetosphere and the solar wind. Overall, Saturn's magnetosphere is a complex and dynamic system that interacts with the planet's moons and protects the planet from the harsh environment of space. Its teardrop shape, pulsing motion, and interaction with the solar wind make it one of the most interesting and important magnetospheres in the solar system. That's it for our 5 curiosities about Saturn. We hope you learned something new and interesting about this fascinating planet. Thanks for watching CGK, Curiosities about General Knowledge.